You're listening to District of Dreams, a Changeling the Dreaming actual play by Hallowed Haven Studios. Hey! It's your girl, Elodie. And, yeah, shit kind of hit the fan. I wanted to do a sock puppet recap, but, I've been informed that this is an audio medium, so y'all will just have to bear with me. Here we go. Last we left off, our group of intrepid adventurers had just been through their literal worst fears, and were still expected to go to work on Monday. Fucking rude. I found a piece of my past in the form of badass gauntlets, hell yeah, but my excitement was short-lived as a small pack of demon puppies led us through a portal into a literal crypt where we found Kira, trapped in a magical sleep like Snow White in her glass coffin. Through the power of friendship and chalk, we were able to wake Kira and escape the dreaming through a door Georgie made, popping up in the river a week and a half after we left. Yikes. While we were gone, SEAL Team 6, aka Georgie's grandma and her knitting club, I guess, descended on DC on a search for our sassy Selkie, cleaning our apartment in the process. Thanks, Grandma. But all is still uncertain, as while Lady Rhodes said they found her husband just a day after we lost him, there's no telling what condition he's in. And while Kira is safe for now, there's more to face ahead, and I feel like there's more she's not telling us. Between figuring out our past lives as the Knights of the Round Table, searching for the Sword in the Stone, and figuring out a half-remembered prophecy, we may have escaped the dreaming, but I think the real nightmare might just be starting.
Hello, I'm Bookkeeper, and I'm playing Sir Crook, the Sealy Wilder Redcap, and both of our pronouns are he, him.
Hi, I'm Hannah Marie. I'm playing Elodie Blight, the Cluricon Childling. Her pronouns are she, her. My pronouns are she, they.
Hi, I'm Clara Allison, and I play Georgina Byrne, a Selkie Wilder. My pronouns are she, they, and her pronouns are she, her.
Hello, I'm Rob Davies. I will be playing Rowan Parsons, a Boggin Grump. Both their pronouns are he, him.
Hello, I'm Madam Ava. I play Sequin Spellman, the Salua Grump, and we both use she, her pronouns.
And I'm Bloodied Porcelain. I'll be your storyteller for the evening, and my pronouns are she, her. Hello, Motley.
Hi.
What's up?
Where did everybody sleep last night? Did everybody go back to their given apartments? Are people staying in the freehold to regain glamour? What's the plan?
Glamour.
I as well will definitely need replenishment of glamour, so I slept on one of my antique couches with a nice throw over top.
I went to my autism nest to curl up amongst my many possessions and books and knickknacks and blankets that kind of smell, but like in a good way.
Okay. Brooke? Georgie?
I think I will replenish glamour and stay in the cafe.
All right. Crook, did you stay in the cafe to get glamour back?
No, Crook went back to his apartment.
All right. Everybody who slept in the coffee shop near the balefire gets 1 point of glamour back.
I like to think that I made the place as homey as possible. I probably have hammocks that I have purchased for just such an occasion, and hot water bottles all around and everything.
Alrighty. Let's see. You are all able to get a decent night of sleep. Does anybody have the nightmares flaw?
Not the flaw.
Not nightmare dice, nightmare flaw.
Yep.
No.
All right, cool. I didn't think so, but easier for me to ask than to go hunting through everybody's character sheets. All right, you are all able to get a solid deep night of sleep. Everybody knows that you wake up knowing that you dreamed, but you don't have clear memories of any of the dreams. It's one of those like deep sleeps because y'all are exhausted after being in the dreaming for what to you felt like a couple of days, with a fairly minimal food until you got out. You're all in a place that you feel safe and are nearby the people who you adore, but maybe not so close that it's uncomfortable, which is kind of how the dreaming had to be, because nobody wanted to wander off from anyone else.
Could I have asked before we hunkered down to sleep if anybody would like to have a particularly good night's rest? In that I would enter their dreams and make it extra pleasant for them, so much so that they have a bit more pep in their step the next day.
Rowan, I love you so much. Absolutely not.
Stay out of my dreams, Rowan.
Very well. Very well. I just putting the offer out there. If anyone ever wants it, you just need to say the word.
I mean, I'm
Wanna hang
indifferent to it if you want to.
You want to hang out in my dreams?
If you would like.
Maybe another time. It seems like we have important things to do.
Of course. All right.
When you wake up in the morning, Crook,
Yeah.
when you came in the night before, you were exhausted. You'd done a really good job of being stoic and not letting it show too much, but you got in and basically fell into bed and didn't really pay much attention to the stuff around you. When you wake up in the morning, you realize that over the back of like your sitting chair that's over by your little bookshelf is a new dark red, almost the exact color of your hat, knitted throw.
What the actual fuck?
It looks soft and comfortable, and kind of honestly looks a little bit like it's meant to be here.
As he drags himself out of bed in the morning, he sort of stalks it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he gets closer to it, he's going to pick it up. And did Georgie's grandmother have a particular scent to her? Grandmas are often scented.
She did.
I take a sniff of this new little throw.
Does not smell like her. However, if you would like to, you can make like a perception. Let's go perception empathy check. If you've got any sort of merit that gives you particularly a keen sense of smell, you could absolutely use that.
I have no such thing.
Okay, well then just perception and empathy.
2 successes.
It does not smell at all like Georgie's grandmother. It does, however, smell a little bit like Rowan. It smells like baked goods and tea and good coffee.
He has a long moment where he wrestles with himself because he wants to be grumpy about this, puts it back in place, and then goes downstairs and makes coffee.
Okay. Elodie.
Hi.
Very similar situation. You came up, you crawled into your little corner, into your little nest, and passed out. When you leave in the morning, leave your little nest in the morning and cross out into the greater part of the living room, there is a like pantomime puppet show complete with like the stage that says Punch and Judy on the banner above it.
Just a massively deep inhale.
Mm-hmm.
Where did this come from? Wait, is this a trap? Is this like the movie Saw? Am I gonna get cut in half?
You are alone in the room, so there's nobody to answer you.
Sorry. Morning. I rubbed my eyes really hard. Is this real?
It seems to be.
Is there a note?
No.
Are there any half-eaten carrots and half-eaten cookies from Santa and his reindeer?
No.
Elodie is going to burst out of her apartment and rush down the stairs barefoot, like sweatpants hiked up to knees in that way that they do when you sleep, like real good. Hair is basically a poof ball around their head and just slides into the coffee shop, whether people are awake or not, and just, who did the puppet theater?
Sigrun, Rowan, and I believe Georgie all slept in next to the balefire.
Indeed.
All three of you wake up with a snap as Elodie bursts into the room yelling.
Oh, goodness. Good morning, Elodie. What is this?
There's a puppet theater in my house.
There's like always a puppet theater in your house.
No, but like a real one, like not one that's in my brain.
There's like always a puppet theater in our house.
You're clearly not understanding what I'm talking about.
Someone set up a theater and not you.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you happen to have an idea as to who?
That's why I'm asking.
Oh. I'm not sure. I'm going back to my room.
I'm trying very hard to speak softly, but I'm full of childish glee.
And see, in that, I appreciate you trying. I can tell that you're having difficulty, so I'm just going to go back to my room and have like another 30 minutes.
Maybe put on your noise-canceling headphones.
I didn't think this was gonna happen this early.
No, I mean like maybe now.
Okay, got it. She'll go back to her basement.
Perhaps I should go and get breakfast ready. And I head into the kitchen.
George is fully cocooned in a blanket on the couch and like finishes rolling herself burrito style and tries to go back to sleep.
Sigrun, you said you were going downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk down, and when you reach your room, there is a... you don't really notice it at first, as you pass by your desk. And you're about to like climb into bed, and this like little flash of something over by your desk catches your eye, and you turn, and there is an antique Victorian silver letter opener. It's beautifully like wrought in filigreed.
And this does not look familiar to her, like she has seen with it. Okay. She picks it up to look at it closer. Beautiful work. Who the hell did this? I'm thinking about that later. And she'll put it back down, and then she'll go to her actual bed to sleep for an extra 30.
Okay.
So it's a mystery when it's a strange knife that shows up in your room, but when it's a puppet theater, no one cares.
Different priorities, my dear.
Georgie, you're just going to attempt to sleep on the couch again?
I think as the cafe starts opening up,
I was going to say, because people are going to start arriving to open the coffee shop soon.
Okay, I'm going upstairs. I'm going to get as much beauty sleep as I can.
Yes, my audience arrives.
As you make your way through the apartment, you do see the puppet theater set up in the living room. She was being quite literal.
Is one of my grandmother's friends a boggin?
You don't know.
I'm going to text my grandmother before I go back to sleep.
What are you texting her?
Did you leave Elodie a puppet theater? Or did one of your friends leave Elodie a puppet theater? There is a puppet theater in my room, or in my house.
The answer you get back is question mark. No?
I send a picture.
No,
Elodie is in fact in the picture with a big thumbs up.
No, we definitely didn't do that.
Then someone was in our apartment and it wasn't you.
I would like both Elodie and Georgie to make me perception alertness checks. Please.
Difficulties?
6, standard.
I've been trained to ask for a DC.
I know.
That's 2 successes.
Same.
You almost missed it, both of you, because you're so focused on this big, bright red, like puppet theater setup. And Georgie, you get the answer back from your grandmother. No, we didn't do that. And you're like, whatever, I'll figure it out later. And you turn, and it's around the same time that Elodie also spots it. In the corner of the living room, hanging up from the what you assume are like the studs in the ceiling, is this beautifully hand woven like beach hammock. It's got the style of something that would have come out of like the 50s, but is in amazing condition.
I sighed out of the hammock.
What is happening? Did we get good karma?
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to yell, Crook, I need your help. You're stronger than me. And I'm going to start pulling the puppet theater towards the stairs.
Jesus.
Crook, you faintly hear Elodie's voice come from downstairs.
At this point, Crook has gotten very, very accustomed to Elodie shouting random snippets of requests. Most of the time, he cannot hear them completely, but it's enough to notify you that I'm talking to you.
Crook opens his door. He's got his work boots on, and so he sort of tromps across the hallway. I'm not helping you carry anything until after I've had coffee.
Make big old eyes, but I want to entertain the people when they're drinking their coffee.
There is a better chance you're going to entertain someone later. If you try and entertain sleepy people with puppet theater, someone's going to hit you, and I'm going to have to hit them.
But that's kind of my whole thing, is enticing people to punch me in the face. Legitimately, that's like my whole thing.
While you're having this conversation, I'm going to crawl into the beach hammock.
It's not your whole thing, and I'm going downstairs to have coffee.
Georgie, it's very comfy. Sorry, continue, Crook.
Then I will consider your request.
Okay. And as soon as Crook walks away, Elodie remembers they're a strong, independent woman who don't need no man and starts pulling the puppet theater.
It's really not that heavy. It's awkward.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing.
So you're able to move it. It's just a little weird, and you kind of have to make multiple trips because most of the puppets you have to leave behind. Otherwise, they're going to end up everywhere.
I make sure I lean down to their level and say, "You're not being abandoned. I'm coming back for you. I'm not breaking up your family. You all mean so much to me," and I give them little kisses on the forehead.
Okay.
Georgie just watches this from the hammock like, absolutely not. And like buries herself in it.
I can hear your expression. Let me have some whimsy.
You can have as much whimsy as you want. I would prefer if you did it not in a place I'm going to nap.
You have a room.
Yes, but this is my apartment. My name is on the lease. I can
This
sleep
is
where I
my
want.
room.
You have the nook.
The corner that is covered by a tarp because I was so kind and I offered you the room?
Yes.
Okay, as long as you're aware that you're being pretty hypocritical and I keep moving my puppet theater.
You just see a hand come out of the hammock with a middle finger.
Also, Crook's being real weird since we got back.
I can't imagine what you mean.
He's being like nice and like less yelly, and I think he might have a concussion.
Well, then we shouldn't have let him go to sleep last night.
No, we really shouldn't have.
Maybe
Well, at least he's awake.
He woke up and he probably has permanent brain damage.
Wait, really?
No.
You can't.
Maybe.
You can't make fun of me like that. I have autism.
I don't think Crook has brain damage. We would know. Wouldn't we?
I must run some scientific tests, and I run down the stairs with the last of the puppets.
I'm going back
All
to
right.
sleep.
You were able to move your stuff downstairs, move your puppet stuff downstairs. Rowan,
Yes.
what are you up to? You working on opening the shop?
Oh, absolutely. That, and of course, making breakfast in record time as I normally do.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Crook is going into the kitchen.
Rowan is in the kitchen. and cooking.
I will be in here for just a minute. Just don't do whatever naked boggin shit you do while no one's looking.
Right. Yes, of course. Is there something I can get for you?
Just need some coffee.
Well, right away. I can make that for you right away.
I got it. I got it.
Are you sure?
Rowan? Yes.
But I love
Rowan.
doing things for you.
Rowan.
All right. Go ahead and make your coffee.
Hey. Thank you.
For what?
And it actually goes with my hat, which is kind of neat. And he takes his mug of coffee and walks back out of the kitchen.
Haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about, and I go right back to my cooking.
Rowan,
Yes.
I'm gonna need another roll. This is gonna be difficulty 7.
Oh yes. I'm very tempted to spend a willpower, but I won't. I might need that later. That's a success.
That is one success. Crook.
Yep.
If you want to try and actually tell if he's being serious that he doesn't know what you're talking about, I will need a perception and empathy check.
Sure. One success.
Okay. That's a tie.
I'm okay with him knowing, if that helps.
He had a pretty strong suspicion anyway, so yeah. He puts on a decent poker face, Crook. It's hard to be 100% positive, but you're pretty sure it was Rowan. He's the only person other than you who has a key to your apartment.
I'm going to blame you for the puppet theater, though. Just know this. Know that you have done me wrong this day, and I will not forget it. When I have to watch Punch and Judy for the 12th time, I will be thinking of you, and it will not go well for you.
Rowan can't help but shrink a bit behind his apron as Crook says this.
Vengeance will come. Not today, not tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff to do, but it will come. And I walk out.
And I go back to muttering about, I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about. Just, I can continue making breakfast and also Crook's favorite flavor of cheesecake.
All right. You are able to do that. How long are Sigrun and Georgie going to sleep in?
I specifically said 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, she'll get up and start work, I guess.
Well, you'd have to go into the office to work.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that. Well, actually, no, not today, because we have stuff to do.
She'll get ready for the day, though?
We'll get ready for the day, and she'll start like working on emails, being like, hey, sorry about that. Give me an extra 2 days, but I have some promising books for y'all. I promise I have promising books for y'all.
Okay. Georgie.
I'm avoiding the fact that I might not have an internship after this.
So you think the best way to deal with that is to continue to stay in bed another day and not check in with your boss?
No, I'm going to call my boss, and then if it's bad, I'm going to sleep in the rest of the day.
Okay. Do you call her cell phone? Are you calling her office? What are you doing?
Did I get a message from them while we were gone this week?
Yeah, you got a number of messages from your boss, where are you?
Yeah, I'm just going to call. There's no good way around this.
Okay.
I call her cell phone.
Maureen picks up her phone relatively quickly. Georgina.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
Where have you been? You can hear the clatter of activity and people behind her, and the screech of a child who's laughing in the background.
I'm legitimately trying to think of a good excuse. I'm so sorry. I thought I sent in the before it happened. I ended up getting a really bad bout of COVID.
And you couldn't return a phone call or text me for a week and a half?
It was really bad.
For all intents and purposes, you should be fired. People have been asking me where you are. People who are above me in the pecking order.
I really don't know what to say.
Well, you could start with it'll never happen again.
It will never happen again. It shouldn't have happened this time. It's just my grandmother even had to come to town. She was worried.
Okay. I expect you in this morning.
Absolutely.
Then I will see you in an hour at your normal starting time.
Yep.
Bye. She hangs up.
Bye. Just fuck. I'm gonna clamber out of the hammock and start getting ready for work. Shit.
I refer to my intro. We're still expected to work on Monday.
All
right. While Georgie is getting ready, showering, the rest of you, Sigrid's also getting herself ready for the day, and Crook and Rowan are subjected to the clatter and the noise of Elodie hauling all of the stuff from the Punch and Judy puppet show down into the coffee shop itself, and setting up in like the main room away from the balefire, where everybody who comes in can see.
I'm very proud of my art form.
This can only go well.
Should we do something about that? Asks Rowan to Crook.
Crook slowly turns and looks at Rowan. I don't know, Rowan. Maybe we should talk to the person who gave her the theater.
If only I knew who that was, I would do so immediately.
I will run you over with a car. I will steal a car and run you over with it.
This is like when one parent gets a Furby for the child and didn't tell the other one.
I think Sigrid is like coming up to Crook at that moment, already got a cup of like tea, and it's just watching as this happens, like, run over with a car. What happened?
All right, hang on a second. I do have a question. Whose phone is working this morning?
Mine.
Those of us who got ours waterlogged, put them in rice, are they working at all?
Nobody's checked.
GM, I will check my phone. Is it working?
Yes.
I will also check mine.
Everybody whose phone went into the rice is working mostly.
Perhaps we should leave these a little longer.
Why are all my apps blue?
You haven't left it in the rice long enough.
Oh, like it's got a... Oh, sake.
They change color when they're waterlogged.
They change color when the phone is busted. Puppet Master, how's your phone?
I'm currently in the middle of a performance. Please wait until intermission. And anyone who is actually starting to pay attention to what Elodie is doing, you're realizing that she is not doing like a silly little show. She is sitting underneath with her hands up with the puppets. But legitimately, if you start listening, it's, I'd like to present a trifle, a long-winded tale, a group of adventurers who are sure to prevail. And she's actually doing like a full scripted, seemingly scripted out, but she clearly has no paper under there, a retelling of honestly their adventures. And it's pretty damn good.
I love everything about this. I'm not even going to ask for a roll. That's adorable.
Thank you. I was prepared for it to be wonderful in a terrible way.
At some point, Georgie clatters downstairs and is already fishing through the pastry cabinet, the pastry display, so she can grab breakfast before she goes.
Don't bother Georgie here, and he hands you a perfectly packaged brown bagged lunch and a something for breakfast as well to go, and a coffee to go, just the way she likes it.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, work today. Good. Have a good day then.
I wasn't fired, and I don't intend on getting fired, so yes, work today.
Georgie, is your phone working?
On.
It was working before.
Okay.
Yes, Georgie and I were the only ones that had phones go unscathed, mainly because my phone was here, and then Georgie is, Georgie.
Yep.
Okay.
Have a good day, dear. Let us know if you need anything.
I'm deciding if Georgie is the kind of person who risks taking the bus and she knows she's late.
Rowan will offer to drive you if that would actually get.
There is
her to
also
work
the
faster.
metro.
The PT is actually, yeah. She's like deciding whether she risks taking the metro versus and being late, and she'll take it.
To be totally fair, taking the metro will probably get you there faster than driving in DC.
That's so valid. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Even if the metro is behind, it'll usually get you closer to when you need to be there. So,
but yeah, as she's like getting ready to leave, I still have my phone. It still works. If something happens, just let me know, I guess. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but, bye.
Okay.
If you need me, don't.
I'm going to go buy phones.
By the way, I have a letter opener that I found in my room. Does anyone know where we got these things?
Hey, Rowan, what are you doing?
Making another subterfuge roll, apparently.
I was like, are you in the room? Are you out of the room?
Crook just turns and looks at Liar McLiar face.
Still difficulty 7.
And then I said no, like a liar.
What happened with you?
2 successes that time.
Sigrun, perception, empathy.
Okay. 4 and 6. Standard.
Yep. Oh
4.
yeah. It was Rowan. He tries really hard to hide the kind of giddy, satisfied look on his face, but you notice it immediately, especially with Crook literally purposefully turning to stare at him.
Ah, I see. Okay, well.
All right. I saw some things at the estate sale and I just couldn't resist. Why does everybody need to point out this stuff? I just wanted to do a good thing.
Rowan.
What?
Thank you.
Thank you, Rowan. I think the main thing is that last night we did have the concern that someone did break into our home while we were away. So just random things showing up again.
Yes, but I'm a boggin. I'm supposed to do nice things for people and they don't know about it. And clearly I need to try harder and I failed.
Hey, if you need assistance in being a bit more sneaky or lying better, just let me know.
And then the hellhound snapped, its jaws full of might, but our grinning knight had a hell of a bite.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna just watch this now. And she gets a plate of breakfast, refills the tea. It's like, I guess I'm watching this now. Maybe I'll do some card reading while I'm out there.
Hey, your phone isn't working.
My phone works.
What else do you have to do?
Her phone works fine. She left her phone behind. She didn't take it with her into
I forgot. You're a chronically offline queen.
The thing is, she is really good with like computer stuff, but yeah, this instance.
I look around at the clientele. I'm wondering what their reaction is to the Punch and Judy show.
Honestly, most of the clientele are busy professionals on their way to work. So while they might give the occasional glance in her direction, or they'll like stand and watch while they're waiting for their order, most of them aren't paying that close attention. It's like that's a weird, vaguely amusing thing, and they pay attention for the 10 minutes it takes for their order to come through, and then they take their stuff and they leave because they have to get to work.
The whole theater tilts slightly backwards to reveal the bottom, where a sneakered foot pushes out a coffee can that says tips before it closes again.
I'd like to go up to one of the members of staff and you know what? I'm going to do it myself. I am going to set up some free samples right next to the Punch and Judy show to draw attention to it.
Okay. Elodie.
Yeah.
I would like a charisma and performance check. We're going to drop your difficulty to 5 because Rowan put out the samples.
And because I made up rhymes and you're so proud of me.
I am incredibly proud of you, and that's precisely why your original difficulty was at 6 and not 7.
3 successes, and that's a 666. So this show is sponsored by Satan.
Okay. You do, in fact, occasionally hear the clank of coins and the shuffle of paper getting tucked into the coffee can as you're going about your play.
And I will wrap it up with, and so, dear listeners, please know that all is not as it seems, for we may have gone on an adventure, or it might have just been a dream. And then the puppets bow, and I pull the little string to pull the curtains closed.
There is a very polite smattering of clapping from
lukewarm
from the-
applause. I soak it up. I soak it up like the validation I never got.
You do see Sigrid also clapping. She is proud of you.
Elodie, that was wonderful. I feel like this the show that you just gave was underappreciated with our morning clientele. I wonder if you would do me a favor and come over with the Punch and Judy show to the center where my charity does a lot of their work. I think with a younger audience, you could get the appreciation that you deserve. How about that?
But this is the perfect place to do it, Rowan, because the greatest artists aren't appreciating their time. If people appreciate me, I'm not a great artist.
But you could inspire the children. And what's to say that you couldn't perform in both places? Also, I lean over and I say, Crooks seems to be a little bit bothered by the show, and I'd like to, make peace with everybody if possible. So, could you do me a favor?
Oh, he doesn't like the puppets? I'm sorry. No, really, when it's a joke, I'm like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna do the puppets anyway, but I don't actually want to bother anyone.
I'm really sorry to bring it up, but honestly, I mean, you can keep the puppet show, of course, and I will arrange transportation for you to go over to the center and perform for the kids anytime. I swear they will absolutely love it. These are creative types. They would probably want to get involved as well. I think you would get a lot of satisfaction with performing for them if you would do that. And I mean, you are really good at what you do. So I just want to make sure that the right people see it.
Elodie smiles. It's just a little tight, but she laughs and just, okay, but I think we're a little busy today, so I'm gonna take it down and store it upstairs so it doesn't get broken, and then I'm gonna go over and see how Kira's doing, and then I'll be back, and I'll meet up with you guys when everyone's done with work.
Actually, if you're gonna be seeing the Lady Kira, I'll be happy to come with you. And also, I can't do strength-related activities, but I can help carry the puppets if you need assistance with that.
Yeah, thanks. I'd appreciate that. It's not super heavy. It's just a lot of stuff.
That's fair. I'll help with the smaller things.
And Elodie skips back to their puppet theater, and in the back of their head, it's just, that was a very reasonable request. Don't cry.
Oh.
It's a very reasonable request. They just have ADHD and autism, so in fact, it is the Rhys-Jackson sensitive dysphoria.
I get it. All right. You are able to take stuff upstairs. No problem. Sigrun helps.
Brooke scoops up the tip can and carries it behind them, and quietly, the coin that he took with him into the dreaming, just in case they needed it, it ends up in the tip can before he puts it away.
Does it?
It does.
Are you
Aww.
trying to be quiet when you slide it in with the other coins?
Yeah, I'm doing it while I'm carrying the tip can up, and they're all carrying stuff.
Okay. Noted. All right.
Elodie's just chattering away as she's getting ready and getting like fully dressed to go actually out and about in the cold weather.
Okay. So once that's done, what's everybody doing?
I'm going with Elodie to the Roses estate.
Okay.
Anyone's welcome to come, as long as you don't have to participate in capitalism today.
Do I have anything work-wise to do, BP?
You're, for all intents and purposes, kind of self-employed.
Yeah, but I mean, you still have client meetings or meetings with a publisher or whatever, right?
That is up to you, Boo Boo. You make your schedule. I'm not going to tell you that you have to or don't have to do something.
I'm just going to roll a d10 and see.
Okay.
Just need to stop long enough. Elodie, your show is done. How's your phone?
Oh, I don't know. Let me check. And I'm going to dig through the rice.
The screen turns on, but it's kind of like, what's the word? Like the light level is turned all the way down.
It's borked.
Okay. So, just need to stop at the store and get phones, and then we'll go to the Rhodes estate. Yeah?
I don't have the cash. I don't have the cash for a phone, so I'll just pick one up in like a couple weeks.
I will pay for the phone. I just want everybody to be able to communicate with each other.
I can just stick with Sigrun.
Elodie, you need a phone.
Okay, gosh.
How are you going to text Kira sweet nothings at 2 a.m. without a phone?
Sweet nothings? How old are you?
Old enough.
You're like 4 years older than me, right?
I will throw you physically from this room.
I live here.
And?
You can get me a phone. I'm going to pay you back, and that is my line.
The absolute switch from I'm going to get you a phone to I'm going to yeet you out of the room is very amusing to me.
I am a changeling and contain multitudes, and you don't do strength-based activities, so you better stay out of arm's reach while you say those things.
I'm also going to be like trying to subtly check his eyes to see if one pupil is more dilated than the other.
Make me perception of medicine.
I'm delirious.
For push talk.
Same.
Oh, that's a bunch.
Oh, they're definitely two different sizes, Elodie. 100%.
Crook, I think you need to go to the hospital.
Someone's going to need to.
No, really. Your eyes are wild right now. I think you might have hit your head. Yeah.
Huh?
I'm not messing. You got like one pupil that's bigger than the other.
I didn't hit my head.
You almost died.
Yeah, because he almost got stabbed.
And if you hit your head, how do you know you wouldn't forget that you hit your head?
Elodie, when did I hit my head?
I don't know. My back was turned and I was running when you were being attacked by 1,000,000 knights.
Rowan, come here.
I rush up the stairs and I say, I don't have much time. Apparently, I have a meeting today. Time is just all over the place. But what can I do for you?
Are my eyes the same size?
I don't know. Are they, BP?
Rowan,
Yeah.
Do you have medicine?
I don't think I do.
You do not.
No, I don't.
Let's just do it in perception academics. Detail-oriented will apply.
Fabulous.
A question.
Yes.
Is anyone looking at Elodie?
I think Sigrun is.
Elodie's going to look at Sigrun and point over her shoulder and say, hey, what's that?
Sorry, you said standard difficulty, right?
Yep.
Okay.
What is what?
Yeah, right there. And I point
crap,
over your shoulder.
That's 6 successes.
Let's let this play out with Elodie and Sigrun. What's happening?
I guess Sigrun's looking over her shoulder?
As soon as no one is looking at me, I'm using twinkling of an eye to disappear because I need to be out of this situation. And I'm just going to reappear in the hallway and run down the stairs.
Okay. While Rowan is looking up at Crook, Crook's eyes look fine. They look normal. And you guys are about to turn back to Elodie. All three of you at the same time go to turn back to Elodie, and she is gone.
We should have expected that.
Oh, heavens. I hope she doesn't do anything foolish.
No, I think too much, maybe embarrassment energy. A lot happened.
Potentially. I feel bad for the part I played in that. I must get to my publisher. I am so sorry. I know we have a lot going on. I'm supposed to be discussing my new book with him today. Have I brainstormed that much for it? Absolutely not. So I guess I'm improvising something and saying the outline changed on the way later. I will see you later.
Do you have a means of contacting us?
The publisher has a landline. Surely I can borrow one.
Oh, very well. Have a good day.
You as well. And I will pick up a phone while I am out, after the meeting, of course.
Rowan, why is Elodie embarrassed?
I may have mentioned that you're not fond of the puppets and offered to give her a regular gig at my children's charity instead.
You told her I didn't like her show?
Oh, I'm going to step away. Like maybe 2 steps away.
Ron, the dads are fighting.
We can... I'm terribly sorry, Crook. I'm already late. I need to get going.
I know. You're really busy. You should run.
He's down the stairs as quick as his 50-plus-year-old self can take him.
Oh my god, this is the most clippable session we've ever had.
I am, in fact, just sitting on the counter in the coffee shop, eating a croissant and swinging my legs and waiting for them to be done.
You see Rowan hurry down the stairs and out the door.
Hi, Ron.
I wave as friendly as I possibly can as I rush past.
Sigrun and Crook are left upstairs in Georgie and Elsie's apartment.
I guess we're finished with putting stuff away. I'm gonna, get ready to go out. She just also, she doesn't rush downstairs. She just casually makes her way down, checking back at Crook on occasion. Are you actually, legitimately, are you okay? And not in like an Elodie, thinking that you have a concussion or Rowan being too much of a mother goose. This is me, Sigrun, as your friend, checking to see if you're okay.
I have a suspicion. I'm going to wait till everybody's here so I can say it just once. There was someone else I probably should have told first, but they haven't called me back, so they're just going to have to wait.
I absolutely cannot wait for this revelation or suspicion that you have. I guess we get ready for the day.
Yep.
Just grumbling goes about getting things ready before going out.
Sigrun's my favorite.
All right, you guys lock up the apartment on your way out?
Yep.
All right.
So I do check the burner phone that was in my my sock drawer to see if Godric has called me back.
You have a text message that says that he's in a really big meeting that started at like 7, and he will call you when he's done.
Okay. I will text him back and say I should have my regular phone back by then.
You get a thumbs up.
I will put on coat and hat and tromp back downstairs. All right, let's go.
I hop off the counter and I'm ready to go.
All right, first stop is picking up phones.
Yep.
You could do that on the way because the roads are on the other side of the city.
That's good.
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
All right, we're not going to play that out. Crook has the resources. I'm going to assume he makes a stop off to one of his We Buy Gold shops.
Unless we get sponsored by a major cell provider, we're not going to role play shopping for a phone.
Actually, he does. He does stop by a We Buy Gold shop. He gives the driver directions, stops, looks at the two of them, says, "Y'all wait here." Goes in, comes back.
All right. then you stop off. You buy however many phones you're going to buy. I don't remember, 2, I think, because Rowan said he'd get his own.
Yep.
And then you head off to the other side of the city. When you get there, you guys have like you're all aware of where the Rhodes is like home is, but you've never actually been there. So it's a little bit of a shock when you roll into one of the like really nice neighborhoods with like proper houses, not townhouses, but like big multi-story affairs with like yards. The grounds are not overgrown in that nobody takes care of them, but like overgrown in that like on purpose English garden kind of way where there's just plants everywhere and really big trees. Like somebody has worked very hard to turn this into like its own little like pocket oasis in the district. It is a big like 2.5 story brick facade affair. Surrounded by trees. There's like a fencing that separates off like the side and the backyards from the front, which is mostly overgrown, and there's like a path that leads you up to the front door from where you park on the street or from where you're dropped off on the street. There are what do you call them, cars in the driveway,
just in case any I recognize.
You recognize Lord Rhodes' car, his SUV.
Okay.
I'm going to head on up and I'm going to say that I grabbed flowers somewhere along the way.
That's very sweet and easily enough done.
That's what you do when you're visiting someone who doesn't feel well.
There is a picture in Game General of the Rhodes' house.
Pretty.
Very DC, maybe Potomac.
For those of you who have spent enough time in DC that you are relatively familiar with how real estate and stuff goes, that's about $1 to $2 million house.
Yeah. Did you make sure to also get him a card, dear?
I didn't have time for a card.
Seacrum pulls out a card that is sold at the coffee shop. There you go.
How'd you do that?
Sneaky.
Which?
Literally.
Yes. Dog. That's my thing.
Dog, that's my thing. But I'll tuck it in among the flowers. It's not anything fancy. It's like a small assortment of daisies that's just a little heavy on like the baby's breath, which makes you know that it's a cheap bouquet, but it's the thought that counts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ring the doorbell and kind of brush my bangs out of my face just a little bit because I realized that my hair is a little floofy.
There is they've got one of those doorbells that when you ring it, it almost sounds like musically, like musical chimes inside. You can hear it echo through the house. And then there is, you could hear kind of coming from deeper in the house, like the click of heels. Coming. One moment. You hear like the barking of a dog, like a smaller dog that gets kind of like shooed away and tucked away into probably tucked away into a side room. And then finally the door opens and Mrs. Rhodes is standing in front of you. Good morning. We weren't expecting company.
You said it was okay to check in on Kira if she was feeling up to it. Obviously, if she's not feeling up to it, that's okay, but I wanted to drop off flowers anyway and see how you're doing, ma'am, my lady, your highness, and I dip into like a half bow, half curtsy.
Good morning, Elodie, Sir Crook, and Sigrun, is it?
It is. Good morning, my lady.
Please come in. And she kind of steps back to let you in. The house is all kind of done in like mostly whites and grays, with some of the rooms you can see are kind of in like peach and rose tones. But it's not overpowering. It looks like they probably either had hired an interior decorator, or maybe Miss Rhodes is herself an interior decorator. there are parts of it when you kind of glance around, like you get a view like back through the house into the kitchen. There, like the kitchen looks like there was like oh my goodness, like tile work that was probably done a while back, that rather than them like taking all the tile down and redoing it to update it, they kind of blended it in with more modern stuff, and somehow it's a nice little like fusion of retro and modern styling. She's this way. She's been very quiet this morning. I have someone coming to have a look at her later.
Is this a shoes off household?
No, you're fine. You realize that the floor that you're walking across is all like hardwood, and you could see like marble floors like in the kitchen and stuff. Very easy to clean.
Elodie will pull one daisy from the bouquet, but hand the rest to Lady Rhodes, and just using all of her home training, just these are for you. You have a lovely home.
Thank you. That's very sweet. This way. And she'll lead everybody into a dining room where there is food on the table for breakfast. Kira is sitting there. She is dressed. Her hair is brushed and whatnot. But she looks a little vacant. Looks like if she's taken anything off of her plate, it's not more than a couple of bites.
Hi, Kira.
Hi.
Can I sit?
Mm-hmm.
And I look to the others and gesture for them to either sit or sneak around and find her dad to find out what happened, because this is also a stealth mission. And I convey that by just waving my hand vaguely.
Gesturing vaguely?
Yeah. I will sit next to Kira and hold out the flower and just, this is for you. I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you. She'll take the flower. I'm okay, I think.
How did you sleep, Lady Kira?
Okay, I think. Her brow furrows a little bit, like she looks a little confused, or like she's struggling to remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you didn't, you know. We'd get it. Well, we wouldn't get it because we it would be understandable, is what I mean.
No, I think I did. I don't. She'll kind of shrug a little bit. I'm not tired.
Well, at least that's good.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
She'll kind of look over at Sigrid. Your arm was hurt.
It will be fine. Some scraping and bruising, but it's on its way to healing.
Okay.
I thank you for your concern.
You're welcome. And if nobody says anything, she just sort of like absently, vaguely kind of like does that thing where she just sort of like looks off into the distance.
Are you seeing something, Kira? You keep getting that far off look in your eye.
Oh, no.
Is there something on your mind?
I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah, you said that you felt like there were pieces missing.
Yeah. Like they took something, but I don't remember what.
Do you seem to feel... Do you feel it is something that happened, a memory that happened while you were in the dreaming, or sometime before you were taken?
I don't know.
Huh. That's weird.
It's not like it's not like it's a bookshelf where a book is missing. It's more like walking into a room where everything feels the way or everything looks normal, but there's a part of you that knows it's not.
It is a fog in the memory, but not exactly knowing where the gap is. I see.
Yes.
Your mother informed us that someone was coming to see you today. How are you feeling about that?
She'll shrug a little bit. Mom worries. If she thinks it needs to happen, then it needs to happen, I guess.
Elodie leans in close. If you want to sneak out and go do something fun, we can do that.
Mom would be mad.
But I bet she'd be happy if you're happy. That's all moms want, right?
She kind of blinks a little bit. Elodie, give me a perception and empathy roll at difficulty 6, please.
2 successes.
You get the feeling that your idea of what is normal for parents to expect and worry about is probably very different from her reality.
Well,
Because
yeah, I basically grew up feral.
when you suggest that the only thing the thing that her mom worries about the most is whether or not she's happy, she kind of blinks at you because like that's just not part of her paradigm. Not that she seems hurt or like she, like her mom doesn't care at all if she's happy. It's just that that's obviously not her most pressing concern.
Yeah, no, it's more like, oh, you are physically safe and whole rather than, oh, you're having a great time.
Yeah,
but once again, Elodie was the last child of
I'm
6.
aware. I'm aware. This was about whether or not Elodie got the point.
Oh yeah, Elodie 100% gets it, but just her smile just gets like a little more wicked, and just it could be fun. We can solve a mystery.
I don't want to make trouble. Dad's not okay. Mom doesn't need to worry more.
Have you seen your father?
For a couple of minutes when I came home.
How does he look?
She kind of shakes her head. It's pretty bad.
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry, Crook, were you going to say something?
Crook, who has been watching all of this rather intently, is Lady Rhodes still here?
Yeah, she's kind of like drifted off out of the room into the kitchen. You can see her kind of peering in every so often to make sure that everything's okay, but she's giving you guys your space. While she looks like she's making coffee and maybe texting from her phone.
He will poke into the kitchen. Your ladyship, I wonder if his lordship be able to receive a visitor? Trying to piece together what happened when we lost contact with each other.
I can take you up, but he's not. Maybe you should just see one at a time.
Okay.
And she will glance over to make sure that Kira is okay one more time, and then she will set down her coffee and lead you upstairs. There's up the stairs and down a long hallway. And through a door into a positively massive master bedroom. In this big, like 4-poster bed, is Lord Rhodes, but he is, there are bandages, like up and down both of his arms. He's, looks like he's probably asleep. There's a bandage around like his forehead. You could see like bruising and scrapes on his face and his neck. Almost everything you can see has some sort of sign of injury, either a bandage or a bruise or whatever.
Holy fucking shit.
Yes. As you say, holy fucking shit.
Did he get stepped on by an elephant?
I don't know.
Do you know who found him? Who found him?
I and one of the, I and my assistant did.
Where?
In Rock Creek Park, or nearby. The boundaries aren't overly clear. We had to go through the park to get to him.
How long ago?
A little over a week. He'd obviously been there for a few days, though. It's a wonder he didn't lose anything to frostbite, really.
I'm not really trained in these things, but I presume you've had someone look at him.
Yes.
Is all of this damage mortal?
It's a mixture. A lot of it is physical, but there's chimerical as well. He hasn't been easy to understand when we've gotten him to talk.
What has he said?
He talks a lot about shadows and armor. She kind of shakes her head. It doesn't make sense.
That's new. Shadows, we were attacked in the coffee shop, but he handled that with skill.
We haven't been able to find his weapon. I've sent someone out to look for it every day since then, hoping that it just got tossed to the side, lost somewhere. He'll be livid if he wakes up and it's not back.
He hasn't been coherent since he's been home?
Not fully, no. I think he recognized Kira when we brought her in for him to see her last night. He smiled, but he wasn't awake for long. He was right back to sleep a few minutes later. You're welcome to try and talk to him. Maybe you can make sense of it, but so far, or at this point, I'm just trying to keep him comfortable.
Thank you. This is going to be a little weird, so just bear with me. And Crook is going to take a knee by the bed and put his hand on Lord Rose's arm.
Mm-hmm.
Your lordship, can you hear me?
You get a kind of faint, unintelligible groan from him.
I have to do. I'm sorry. We were not there to defend you. And I swear to you, if it is within my power, I will avenge this hurt upon your person.
Okay. Double checking something. I believe there are rolls for oaths. Oh, no roll. You do, if you want to actually like activate and bind the oath, you have to spend a point of glamour.
I spend a point of glamour.
Okay. You feel as this happens, you invest your glamour into the words as you say them, and you feel a weight settle onto your shoulders like a mantle and lay itself across you. And there is almost like a pulse in the air and a slightly different smell all around you for just a moment as the dreaming acknowledges the oath that you have sworn, and you know that you have bound yourself inextricably to Lord Rhodes until your oath is completed.
Your ladyship, with your permission, Elodie has been studying the art of spring. I don't know if you've had someone in who could try that, but...
We have, but if she'd like to try, I'm open to anyone trying at this point.
I'll go get her. You will go downstairs and run.
Kira looks up.
Not
Other
you,
run.
dear.
Oh, huh? What? What's up?
You want to come take a look at these injuries?
What? Are
You've
you
been
hurt?
working on... Not mine.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, I can... I look at Kira and then look back. Yeah, I can help. I can try.
I'll sit here with Kira. Sigrun,
Yes.
you should go too.
Very well.
Something-
If we're allowed.
The lady
Something
has said it's okay. Something's not right. His sword is missing, and he looks like he's been run over by a truck.
Did she say what type of injury? What type of injuries?
Physical and chimerical. When he's been awake, he's mentioned shadows, which is something we've seen, but he also mentioned armor.
You must have gone into the dreaming. All right. As Sigrun walks with Elodie, she is going to turn to Crook and just like lean in. Try to see if she wishes to talk about the day she was taken. She had a look to her when the prophecy was read. Well, she had a look to her when the prophecy was read.
You overestimate my abilities with people, but okay.
I mean, I don't... Crook, you underestimate yourself. You are quite charming.
Just go.
The noodle arm wiggle and run.
I'm gonna go out into the garden before I go upstairs. I know it's like all like dead, but
It certainly is. It is
Yeah.
winter here.
but I'm gonna get like some evergreen pine needles from the tree, and as I'm walking past the bouquet that I brought, I'm gonna pluck a couple flowers and baby's breath from there, and I'm gonna weave the stems together as I walk up the stairs and I begin to prepare my cantrip. And as a bunk, I'm gonna make a flower crown to bestow on Lord Rhodes's head.
Okay, that's very cute. I like that. How intricate are we doing this flower crown?
Not super intricate because that's not really Elodie's thing. It's not really her bag, but there is a significant amount of effort put into the simple twisting of them together. It's like not sloppy. It's not going to fall apart. It is something that it's going to stay nice and secure until the flowers themselves lose their vitality, their structural integrity. But so it's something that is kind of close to home. She wants to incorporate the little boughs of pine because it's something from her house to his, from his house to him, if that makes sense.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, a gift from her and something from his home combined together for companionship, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I will say that that'll give you a -2 to your difficulty. So it'll drop you to a 6.
She will walk up to the bed.
And he is nobility, so you have to have Fae.
I do. Yeah, okay. I have Fae too. I'll walk up to the bed a little nervous and just another little half bow, even though he said that I don't need to do that. Lord Rhodes, we did it. We were able to get Kira, and she's mostly fine, and we're gonna make sure she's completely fine. Because, well, even if I didn't promise you, I want her to be fine because she's a good person. And I made this for you, and I know you're gonna be okay because, yeah. And she gently places it on his head. And let's see. I believe I can cast it on an object, but yeah. The realm determines the source of the healing to anything near the target. So if I cast it on him, it's anything near him. If I cast it on the crown, I'll just cast it directly on him. Just for ease. And that'll be 5, so let me roll.
Yep. To be clear, you can cast it on the crown and have it transfer to him. Nobody else is injured, so it's not gonna give off healing to anybody else. It's not like you're depriving him.
No. It's mostly I'm thinking of the logistics of, would Elodie do that for the symbolism of it? Or would she really want to make sure that he gets as much healing as he can, even if the crown falls apart? Because she did her very best. She didn't do a good job.
Understood. I'm just double checking.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Oh, that's only 1 success, so it'll only go for a minute.
And how much does it give off for a minute?
For 1 minute, touching the target of the cantrip heals a bashing or lethal each turn.
Okay. So that would give him 6 levels of healing for lethal damage. Does it specify if the damage can be chimerical or if it's only for mortal or anything like that?
For this, it says all bashing and lethal damage. Some spending an extended amount of time near the well of life can also heal infections, counteract poisons, reduce the severity of diseases.
So it doesn't specify.
Yeah, okay. No, it would only heal aggravated damage if it was consumed, and I'm not putting this flower crown into his mouth.
That is understandable. Okay.
Another clippable moment.
You bestow this crown onto Lord Rhodes, and then press the rush of your spring art into him, and you can feel like this weird sort of resistance, like the damage doesn't want to let go. doesn't want to let you heal him. This doesn't feel normal. And you have to kind of like hyper focus. And you feel like sweat break out across your brow as you try to force it to work, even though it doesn't want to give way. And then there is trying to think of the word. There is a sweetness that fills the air. Where it's almost like you smell, even though it's the middle of winter, you smell honeysuckle and the kind of vaguely musky smell of roses and the earthy smell of like fresh dirt. And you can tell that there is something happening, like the dreaming has almost started to leach just a little bit into the room with you. Like the whole room feels a little bit unreal. You can hear Lady Rhodes behind you, and there's this little intake of breath from her. And when you open your eyes, some of Lord Rhodes's injuries have healed, though not nearly as many as you would hope or think they would. And there are little, in like the 4 posters of the bed, there are like carved like flowers and vines and stuff in the wood. And you can see where little flowers have begun to grow, like from the wood itself, like it's come alive.
Elodie is like breathing really hard, like wiping the sweat from her brow, just looks kind of helplessly at Lady Rhodes. I'm sorry, I tried.
How did... We've had 3 healers come, and none of them could make a dent in it. How did you... She looks stunned, not in a bad way, just like she doesn't know what happened or how to react.
I think Elodie just is discovering her own untapped potential.
Maybe it's because I don't want him to get better as Lord Rhodes. I want him to get better as Kira's dad, you know?
Maybe. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll try and come back when I get a little stronger, and I'll bring soup this time. It's always better if you can eat it.
She kind of makes her way over to stand beside you to look down at her husband. And as she does so, like one hand rests on your shoulder, and then she turns to you and you realize that she's only slightly older. She's only slightly taller than you because she has heels on. But when she turns to you, she immediately pulls you into a really tight hug.
Oh, I'll hug her back. And just, it's gonna be okay. The good fairy tales have happy endings. The really good ones.
You are right. I had begun to think he wasn't going to get better because everybody tried and nothing was working. She pulls back and you can see that there are like tears in her eyes, and she kind of turns her back to you, to like she's looking down at him. And you can see the movement of somebody who is very quickly and as subtly as possible, like wiping at her eyes before she messes up her makeup.
I pretend not to notice.
I'm going to go check on Kira.
Yeah.
Feel free to stay if you'd like.
Yeah, Sigrin, you know more about the magical side of this. Maybe I can tell you what I felt, and it can give us some clues.
Yes. Before you go, Lady Rhodes, did anyone try to perceive what happened with Lord Rhodes, whether it be in the divination sense or otherwise?
That makes her frown a little bit, and you could see that there is a look of almost pain and frustration on her face.
Uh-oh.
I haven't been able to get a seer to come out. Everybody is busy trying to understand what happened to the High King.
I can try my best with that. I have some abilities with the soothsay, and if possible, depending on how things go, I am able to dabble a tiny bit into wandering in dreams, but I think it's probably wiser to go with the soothsaying route first.
Do what you feel is best. You all have proven that you are more capable than anyone else right now. And she leaves the room.
I would like to try Tattletale.
Okay. Tell me what Tattletale does.
System. The realm use determines who or what becomes the focus of it, but you are technically able to dedicate to a person. And it basically scribes distant scenes through an object or an individual. For that is the purpose of the spell itself. So she wants to try to see if she can get a vision of what happened the day that we were separated from him.
Okay. Hold on, let me look at something.
Yeah, I can copy it into the chat too.
I'm reading it already.
Okay.
Sorry.
I am going to take the opportunity to text updates to Rowan and Georgie and keep them appraised of what we're doing and where we're going. Like I'm let's just presume that I'm keeping them updated.
Okay. Why don't you guys take a minute to go back and forth with that while I look up whether or not you can look back in time or if this is like a present time thing.
Yeah, I kind of saw like the distant scenes. It's like, oh, the past, cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking because it doesn't specify, so I think you may have to apply time to it.
Okay.
Can I just have given Elodie the phone number for my publisher in the past in case there was an emergency and for some reason my phone wasn't working?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can assume that everybody in the Motley has your publisher's like number and address just in case there's something really bad happens.
Yeah. And the charity or whoever else. Yeah.
I'm assuming Sigrun had it just because working together with books.
In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Sigrun's phone and I'm going to call Rowan while I am texting Georgie.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So this particular cantrip is very vague. So you know what? If you augment it with time, I will allow you to look back in time because it's not specific. I took far off initially to mean just in a different place.
Yeah, fair enough.
More than a different time. But if you want to augment it with time, I will allow you to use it that way.
Yep. And she wants to apply it to Lord Rhodes, and she has the dots for Fae and time.
Perfect.
Right.
What bunk are we going to do, if any?
I think... She is going to run into the kitchen real quick and grab... I'm assuming they have clear bowls. She's going to grab a clear, like a relatively large clear bowl and fill it with water and bring it back up.
Easily enough done.
Yep. She's going to take... I think she tends to just bring a couple, maybe incense or oils with her where she goes, just because of the nature of being a diviner. She'll put a couple droplets in. And as it starts to settle, she's also going to take out her cards because she was originally intending to maybe do a reading for Kira if she wanted to and start divvying up the cards around the bowl to help give more of the soothsaying energy because she tends to be more of a tarot reader. So she wants to bring in that energy into the divining the scene.
Okay. I'll say that gives you we'll do a -2 to your difficulty, so that'll drop your difficulty to 6.
Okay. And what do I roll for this again?
We have a rules right up about now.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Now I gotta pull it up.
Mechanics.
Your art plus the lowest rated primary realm you use. Time and scene do not impact your dice pool, so Fae.
Okay. So that's a 5 altogether. And
And don't forget, if you have nightmare dice, you have to roll those alongside the thing.
Got it. 5, nightmare, 1. Am I able to willpower even though I have a nightmare for spell casting?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do that just in case.
The only time you can't spend willpower points is on a willpower roll.
Oh, got it. 4.
Okay. You cast using Lord Rhodes as your conduit, you cast your senses back in time and into the place in the park that Lady Rhodes described finding him.
Thank you for listening to District of Dreams. If you enjoyed this story, please make sure to subscribe and review wherever you're listening to our podcast. You can find more of our actual plays on our website at www.hallowedhavenstudios.com. Please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/hallowedhavenstudios. Your support helps make more stories like this possible.
Sigrid, you are gazing into the water, and while nothing actually shows up on the water surface for other people to see, it plays out almost like a movie in front of you. You watch as the scene in the water starts at the Rhodes' house and then shoots across the district. Or not across the district, shoots kind of up or north into the west a little bit, races through what you realize is Rock Creek Park, and deep into, oh, hold on. Am I still crackly? Are we good now?
You're good.
Okay. Yeah. Your view starts on the Rhodes' house, and it plays out on the surface of the water, before shooting to the northwest towards Rock Creek Park. And you watch as it races over the tops of the trees. It's almost makes you a little dizzy because it's moving so fast. And then you realize at the same time that while, yeah, it's moving really, really quickly physically, you are also seeing the light go from light to dark to light to dark to light to dark as it like rewinds time. And then finally goes still. And there's a moment of like serenity where nothing is happening. You don't see or hear anything. And then there is a rush of activity. It's dark, it's nighttime, as it was when you all were trying to find Kira. And you hear footsteps breaking. Sorry. Okay, I thought I was gonna sneeze. You hear footsteps like someone is running through underbrush. Mm-hmm. And then there is the sight of Lord Rhodes, and he bursts into this clearing that you are watching. He has already got a cut across his forehead. His bow staff is out. And he is kind of a whirlwind of movement. And there's like the flash of moonlight off of the weapon. And you watch as they're not quite the same. There are shadows, like not quite the same as what you saw in the coffee shop, but they're alive and they are engaged in combat with him. And there is a lot of them. There's like 4 or 5. I would like you to make me a perception and gray mare check, please, or perception and kenning check. This is going to be a difficulty 7 because you are watching it play out rather than physically being there.
Okay. Four.
You realize as you're watching why these don't look like the shadows that you saw in the coffee shop. Because they're not like the shadows you saw in the coffee shop. These are beings, people, physical people of some sort, but they are obscured by something that casts them into shadow so that you can't make out any details. The reason why they look more solid is because they are. And you watch this fight, and it is vicious. Lord Rhodes holds his own for much longer than anyone has any right to. But it does. But every time he goes round and round with somebody, it takes some sort of like single injury. They whittle him down over time, and eventually, you watch as 2 of them fall to him. But at one point, despite the fact that he has managed to whittle down their numbers a little bit, there's still too many for him to be able to stand to deal with all at once. And you see him kind of glance around like he is looking for a way out, and there just isn't one. He doesn't know where he is. It's dark. It's cold. And he's in the middle of the woods. There's no firm, what do you call them?
Exit.
No, there's no like physical reference. There's no landmarks for him to try and kind of use to orient himself. And even as he is trying to fend them off, at one point, one of them lashes out at him with what looks like a hammer, like a almost like a war hammer, at least in the shape that the shadows have created. And they catch him right against the side of the head, and he goes limp. And there are voices that talk back and forth, but they are hard to understand. It's like something is actively trying to mask them and make it so that no one can identify them. And one says, "Do we finish him, or what do we do about the body?" And the other one says, "It's the middle of winter. He's not going to wake up. Just leave him here. We have to go find the others before they get too far." And then they rush out of the clearing, and you are left to watch as Lord Rhodes's blood stains the snow, which is still mostly white, a little slushy because it's been on the ground for a day or two, but mostly white because he's in the middle of nowhere and it was largely untouched before this fight. And that's when you resurface from your vision.
There seems to be other players involved in this. He was ambushed by larger numbers.
I'm frantically typing to Georgie to make sure that she knows what's going on. And I'm just whispering into the other phone to Rowan, being like, so apparently he was ambushed.
I think she's going to hold off on mainly like speaking the details of it. She's just going to take her time to write down in her divination journal the key points. Because I think she wants to make sure that Lady Rhodes is able to hear, and probably Crook. Yeah, Crook. He should hear it too.
Sorry, say that again?
Oh, yeah. Secret's going to just make sure to note all the key details of the vision in our journal before she's going to hold off on saying all the details right now because she wants to make sure everyone else in Lady Rhodes is able to hear.
Okay. You are able to do that. Rowan, you are pulling up around this time.
All right. So I head up to the house, knock, of course.
You are led in by Lady Rhodes. Rowan.
My lady, yes, I came as soon as I heard. I was hoping to offer some more assistance to his lordship, if that is suitable to you.
They're upstairs. Help yourself.
Thank you. And I head upstairs. Good heavens, I say as I look upon him.
It's a miracle he survived.
Indeed. Sigrun, you have some talent with Dreamcraft. Have you attempted anything of that sort?
No. Soothsaying is my specialty, but I can offer the assistance as best as I can. Are you thinking of interacting with his dreams?
Yes. I would like to give him some encouragement. I can craft dreams to the point where it can essentially leave the person with either a good or a bad feeling once they awaken, and it will either bolster or hinder them. Of course, I've never actually attempted this, but my hope is to give him some extra support so that when he does awaken, hopefully it will aid him in his dealings.
All right, let's see what we can do then.
Let's hold that thought for just a moment, because we are going to cast our vision across the city, back towards the hill and the area around it, where Georgina is currently at her internship. Georgina, you've been at work for several hours, and your boss makes her way over to you. Maureen. Georgina.
Yeah?
You're clearly still not feeling well.
I can push through it, it's fine.
Go home.
And George looks like she's lost a week of sleep.
Go home.
Are you sure?
Yes. Frankly, you are about 3 shades paler than you should be, and it's making people nervous that you're going to get them sick.
You know what, that's so valid. Georgie is not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. She starts truly apologizing as she starts packing up her stuff. I promise I will get so much rest and drink so much chicken noodle soup. I think that's what you do. And Vicks on the Vicks vapor rub on my feet. All of the things. Thank you. And completely out the door.
You just watch her go with this completely bemused or this completely nonplussed look on her face, and then she, you go and she turns back to work. You know where everybody is because you've been getting text messages from Elodie, so you are able to head over to the Rhodes' house. We're gonna say that you show up literally a couple of minutes after Rowan does, and for the sake of expediency, we will say that Lady Rhodes meets you at the door, looking vaguely a little bit flummoxed by the fact that people keep showing up. But she seems relatively certain that your whole motley is here now. And she just sort of points at the stairs. They're upstairs.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. And Georgie will clatter up the stairs and just kind of announce to Elodie, I played hooky. It's fine.
I send Georgie a text message saying, and now Georgie has showed up.
Oh my goodness.
I'm live tweeting. I'm really invested.
Welcome,
Georgie. Your phone chimes as you are making your way into the room, and it says, and now Georgie has showed up.
I have do not disturb on.
Hey, when I say I'm going to keep you updated, I mean it.
No, and I really appreciate it.
This room is very crowded now. I'm going to go check on Kira.
While you go, maybe it's best to also bring Lady Rhodes in here. We need to discuss what happened in the vision.
Oh, yeah. There's something pushing against my magic, at least. I might just not have been doing a great job.
Hey.
I'm still new to this.
You did what others could not do. Be proud of yourself.
But that's just because I'm naturally better, not because I'm naturally more skilled.
Hey, take the win.
But
you got a hug from her.
I did. It was really weird. Not in a bad way, but in a, oh my gosh, she doesn't
Very
seem like
unexpected.
a hugger kind of way. Yeah.
Very, very rigid.
But yeah, I'll send her in and I'll check in with Crook and Kira and, oh, this is a mess. And then I scuttle down the stairs like a little spider.
Okay. Yeah, Crook, you have been sitting with Kira, and she's not saying anything if you're not saying anything.
there's a long pause, and like while we're both sitting there, she still has a plate of food in front of her, right?
Yep.
Has she eaten any of it?
It looks like she might have taken a couple of bites at some point, but she hasn't eaten any since you got here.
Well, then it's time for red cap therapy.
Oh,
God.
boy.
I must save her.
No, let him cook.
You don't
Let
know
him
this
cook.
is happening.
Let him cook.
I know, I'm helpless. I'm helpless to assist.
Why aren't you pissed?
What?
Someone took something from you. Why aren't you pissed? Every she I know, you take something from them, they become fucking thunder and lightning. They get pissed. Why aren't you pissed?
I don't know what they took. Why would I know if it matters? How would I know if it matters?
Are you even listening to yourself? You're walking around here like you're a zombie. You walked in the other day into the coffee shop. You were there. You were happy. You were smiling. You let Sigrun read your fortune because apparently that's just something you do. You laughed with Elodie. And now you're sitting here staring at this, what used to be breakfast probably several hours ago, and doing nothing. It's clear they took something from you. Why aren't you pissed?
I don't know.
Can you get pissed?
She looks thoughtful for a moment. Maybe. But nothing's made me mad.
Your dad's a pussy.
You know that's not true.
Yeah. I was just hoping to skip this part. I knock her off her chair.
Seriously?
Yep.
We're gonna get the police called on us?
Okay. Goodness. I guess she has to make a roll to see how fast her reaction is. This is not where I thought this was going.
I had an idea, but then this started happening.
Red cap therapy.
Cook. Let him cook.
No, he's gonna hurt her by accident.
She topples out of the chair. Because you are much stronger than she is, there's no fighting that. But her reaction time is obviously a little bit slower than you think it should be. Like, you could tell that she's a little bit slow to react. But she's quick enough that she manages to not, like, get her legs caught up in the table and the chair and get hurt or anything like that. And she just sort of topples and then kind of slowly starts to gather herself back up to her feet. That was rude. Nope. Our red cap is suffering connection issues. Back upstairs.
Can I head downstairs?
Nope.
Damn it.
You just went upstairs. You have no reason to be downstairs.
I can't do anything
Crook,
in here.
she gathers herself to her feet and says, that was rude.
Make me stop. I poke her in the shoulder. Come on, shining host, make me fucking stop.
I couldn't if I wanted to.
Why not?
You are bigger than me.
So, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. As a acquaintance of mine used to say, make me stop. And yeah, I'm going to get louder.
Now people can hear. Lady Rhodes is hurrying in from another room.
I am also rushing in because I was heading down anyway.
I can't do anything in this room anyway. Headed down because what the fuck?
Oh dear.
Crook!
I'm gonna stay upstairs.
So
just as
secret.
a note. Yeah. Start preparing the room.
What is wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me.
Clearly there
Something.
is.
See? That's how you should be reacting. Why
Huh?
aren't you?
Crook, please go to the other room.
Lady Rhodes has moved to put a hand on her daughter's shoulder.
Your experiment has failed. Clearly. Please go to the other room.
Whatever's coming for us needs a stiffer response than this bullshit. And he will go to the other room.
Elodie is stomping after him.
Melody stomps after Crook. Continue your scene.
You don't do that. You can do whatever you want. You can be mean to whoever you want. You're not mean to her. Understand?
Or what?
Or me. Get it?
No. He folds his arms. I think you need to explain it to me.
Elodie, The wraps that you have been wearing around your hand all morning, or since last night, really, they're still wraps to mortal eyes, but given that you are not mortal, you can also see the glimmer of gauntlets around your hands.
Elodie's hands flex in the gauntlets, and she speaks very slowly and very clearly. There is a time and a place for brute force and instigation. Trust me, of everyone, I know this. Now is not the time, and she is not the one. We don't know what she's been through. Her dad is lying upstairs, possibly dying, and I, a shithead 22-year-old that only just started fucking around with spring magic, has been able to help him out of the, 4 fully fledged changelings who actually know what the hell they're doing. She's going through enough shit. You don't need to add your shit to hers. She doesn't need to be mad. People don't want to be mad.
She's not anything, is she?
Crook, I don't know if something has ever been taken from you.
Go on.
Even if it has, how you choose to deal with that is not how anyone else has to deal with anything.
She's not dealing with it, Elodie.
You can't force her. I'm gonna talk now. I'm gonna talk now because you always... I'm the silly guy. I'm funny. I'm running around trying to make everything okay. And I let myself be pushed down. Not right now. I don't need to explain myself. No is a full sentence. Leave her alone or you're going through me. Get it?
They're coming back. I hear you. I'll leave her alone. But they're coming back. And how she is right now, she'll die.
Good thing I'm here then, huh?
You gonna sit here forever?
If I have to. Because that's what you do when you're supposed to protect someone. You don't push them around and bully them until they're so sick of it that they snap.
Crook leans down and goes, I know.
Then why did you make me snap, Crook?
Because I wasn't doing that to you, Squirt. Because you can't be here to protect her. I can't be here to protect her, and her father is in no position to protect her. We all have some stupid fuck-ass destiny that is going to take us back out of this house.
You can't push people to do what you want. Even if it's for their own good.
Well, then I'm not much good for things, am I?
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not. It's true. I am what I am. Don't leave a red cap in a room and expect bullying not to start. But you made your point. I'll leave her be.
Back in the dining room, Lady Rhodes is standing with Kira and has kind of instinctively, as the shouting has started in the next room, tugged Kira into a hug. Kira is mostly just standing there, like accepting the contact, but not doing much to reciprocate.
I want to try Enkindle on Kira.
What does Enkindle do?
Expelling a breath of glamour. It basically, any emotion an individual is feeling when enchanted with Enkindle intensifies dramatically.
Okay.
I want to see. So this is sort of this is not how. Okay, so hear me out. This is more exploratory because if Kira's been this emotionally vacant, I want to know if there's anything I can grab onto anyway. Does that make sense?
Yes. You are trying to see if it works at all.
Yeah. Because I don't know what they took, but I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah. You need Faye too, because she is nobility.
I'm going to have to upcast it.
What's your bunk gonna look like?
And I explained, I sort of, Georgie will look at Lady Rhodes. I want to try something if that's okay. And Do you have an old tax return?
You expect me to give you our tax information?
Any paperwork will do, actually. Oh, and George like looks into her work bag and finds like finds like paperwork that she's needed that she was taking home with her anyway.
It's your cell
Never
phone
mind.
bill.
It's my cell phone, even better. Excellent. George goes to she goes to the kitchen and grabs a bowl, like a metal bowl. I'll pay this at some point, and sets it on fire on the stove and drops it into the bowl.
All right. I will say that'll drop your difficulty by 1,
I'll take it.
making it a 7.
Oh my god. Getting my rules mixed up. This is a bad pool for me.
You can
I
always
upcast
spend
it-
willpower.
I'm going to spend willpower. Do I add the upcast into the pool?
Yes,
Cool. Oops, I forgot to add the willpower.
that's okay. That's a 2.
Yay.
So it lasts for 2 minutes. You cast it, and I would like you to make a perception and empathy check. Actually, everybody in the room can make a perception and empathy check. At difficulty 6.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Can I
That's a
willpower?
botch. No, you can't willpower after
Not
the fact.
post.
Sigrid?
Is this in the room with Kira? Because I thought Seacrum was still upstairs.
Okay, if you're still upstairs, I'm sorry. I lost track of where everybody was. I knew Rowan stayed upstairs.
Rowan and Seacrum are upstairs.
I guess Kira's mom could,
I suppose I could have Kira's mom roll.
or else I botched and we just
She's-
get to vibe.
She's going to be at a much lower difficulty than you because she knows her daughter. Yeah. You cast it. You can feel the cantrip work. You can almost feel your own emotions kind of heighten just a little bit. Like they're not anywhere near as intense as the cantrip could make them. It's mostly just a natural reaction to your own magic. And you watch Kira and you almost think that you can see like sadness cross her face, like really intense sadness, but her mom is watching her and her brow furrows as Kira stands there. What did you do? Lady Rhodes asks.
Summer magic. I don't know why. It should work.
What were you trying to accomplish?
I was trying to heighten any emotion.
I don't. She looks exactly the way she did 10 minutes ago.
Well, and this is just sort of a theory because I guess I don't really know how it all works. My guess is that's what's missing then.
Or emotions?
Maybe?
As you two are talking, Kira is back to kind of like staring out the window with that kind of like distant, vacant expression.
I have one more weird, insane thing to ask. But actually, first, I also remembered I have common sense.
You do. There's nothing that common sense could give you here. She's not reacting to your magic.
Okay, then here's my last question for like lore purposes, kind of. Can you separate a Fae soul from their changeling?
Not as far as you know. That's certainly not a common sense thing that you would be aware of. Like, you know that you would lose your changeling soul if you lost your coat.
Yeah, that's where I'm starting.
But
this train of thought.
other changelings don't have the same kind of soul you do. Like, you know that yours doesn't work the same way.
Above table, are Arcadian she different?
That is a question I potentially have an answer for you for, but since you don't know what's happening right now,
Okay,
I'm not
fair.
going to tell you.
Hannah was wondering. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's something I feel like you guys should discuss as a motley, and then I can fill in information
Perfect.
based on people making rolls.
I would say, would a gray mare roll be what I'm looking for this?
Yes, intelligence and gray mare would be what you would need.
Can I do that and use a willpower?
Yes.
Gonna just burn through some willpower. It's fine.
This is going to be a difficulty 7. Thank God for willpower. That one success. So the first thing you know is that the way that changeling souls work is it varies slightly, right? So Selkies are kind of their own thing. You know that, like, as far as you're aware, no other Kith works like you. Arcadian She, which is not what she is, are also their own thing. She is an Autumn She. Her family are all Autumn She.
I'm understanding.
So her soul and her mother's soul, at least as far as you are aware, and her father's soul all work very similarly to how Elodie and Crook and Rowan do. So they go through Chrysalis. So their souls are bound to the mortal soul inside of them. Like, they are one and the same, basically. Now, as for whether or not that could be removed, that's a question mark with only one success.
Dang it. All right. Lady Rhodes,
Yes.
whoever did all of this was able to identify, well, why you? Why your family?
I don't know. They didn't come after me. They only went after them, and I don't know. I don't know if her father was targeted because he's him, or if it was because he was going after her after she was taken. She shakes her head. I don't know. I don't even know who they are. I wouldn't know where to start to give you answers.
I wish I could help more.
So do I.
Do you need a hug?
I need a great many things.
George opens her arms.
She hesitates. She looks a little awkward at the idea of going over and hugging somebody, but eventually does, just because it looks like you may need it as much as she does.
So many hugs today.
George's like, I don't know what to do. We do need to have a family meeting.
I think I'm going to take Kira up to her room.
Yeah, I'm going to check in with the others.
Okay.
And George will poke her head into the room that Crook and Elodie were arguing in.
Crook and Elodie, explain the scene that Georgie walks into. By the way, Sigrun, as sensitive as your hearing is, you heard the shouting from upstairs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm just making that clear in case you and Rowan wanted an excuse to come downstairs.
Oh yeah, she's gonna wait for it to die down a little bit, but she is gonna go immediately after, because like just hearing all that's like, ooh, the drama, I love it.
Well,
yes.
it has died down.
I think it's good for us to leave now. I should probably also bring the bowl back downstairs.
Yes, I would like to ask Lady Rhodes if I might be able to borrow some things for a bunk. I want to make sure that this works.
Of course.
And he heads downstairs with Sigrun.
Okay. As you guys are going downstairs, you pass Lady Rhodes and Kira on the stairs.
Lady Rhodes, tend to your daughter, but I was able to find something. We can discuss it after you are available.
All right.
Can I? Sorry. I'll deal with this later, my lady. And I head after.
Oh, I thought Sigrid was trying to nudge you to ask your question.
Yeah, she was. Come on, ask.
Oh, I thought you were like, now's not the time.
No. Ask the question.
I like to imagine this entire conversation is happening in character.
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Is there? I was thinking perhaps I might be able to enter his lordship's dreams in order to give him a boost when he is able to recover and come around. If that is all right with you, of course.
You are welcome to try. Most of the cantrips I have seen people attempt to use until Elodie this morning failed. So you are welcome to try.
Rowan feels a little proud of Elodie that she was able to pull that off, but doesn't say so aloud. What he does say is, not to take you away from anything, of course, your ladyship, but do you have anything of his lordship's that might symbolize hopes for the future that he has, or reminders of past achievements, anything of that sort, that I might use as fuel for what I'm trying to do?
He looks thoughtful for a moment. Are you going to talk to your motley? I can find something for you while you're busy.
Absolutely. I don't want to rush you or anything, so yes, I will go and converse with them.
She will nod and finish taking Kira upstairs.
Perfect. And then I will, if Sigrun's all right with that, I'll go with her into the other room.
Yep.
All right. You enter a room that feels tense, like a thunderstorm is about to start. And it's just sort of hovering over everybody. Georgie, Crook, and Elodie are in the room.
Elodie's chimerical gauntlets, which are also her hand wraps, are more gauntlet than hand wrap right now. And she looks very upset. And it's not often that you see Elodie upset in a way that she is not trying to hide.
Sigrun puts a bowl down on on a table.
Just on the floor.
No, on the table. And she fishes into her pockets, and she pulls out a piece of candy and puts it in Elodie's hand.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Something to focus on a little bit.
Sigrun, I don't. Thank you.
Candy. Eat the candy.
What kind of candy is it?
I think it is a Werther's original.
Oh my god, you even have old people candy.
If it's not the apple caramel, I don't want it.
You know what? For you, she will carry the apple caramels for you.
Okay, it has apple flavoring in the middle, and I put it in my mouth. But I'm still
She's a
upset.
grump. She is old.
But clearly she's trying to calm down and looks away from Crook and kind of scrubs at her face a little and just we should let them rest. We can always come back later, but this has been a lot for everyone, I think.
Yes, that is true. I do wish to give the information as to what I saw in the vision to Lady Rhodes before leaving. Especially because it seems like that is something that she wanted to know.
Yeah, no, I look at the others. If no one's opposed, we can wrap up whatever loose ends we can right now and update each other on our way to Parliament.
I think that sounds fair.
If there's
Rowan
anything else,
nods in agreement. Sorry.
I tried summer on Kira, and there's no emotion there to elevate. If we're looking for what they took from her, it's something. It's tied to that, is my guess.
That sounds like a possibility, yes.
Okay.
I don't want us to leave if we can do any more experiment here. However, I think we should be fairly careful. Georgie looks at Crook for that.
I don't think now's the time to be experimenting with someone who just went through something really awful.
I think we have seen what we are able for Kira and Lord Rhodes. It seems that Lady Rhodes stated that someone is coming to observe Kira as well. Let them do that. See if there's anything else that they can find. And we can circle back from there.
Who's coming to observe?
Sorry, go ahead.
Who's coming to observe her?
I can only assume their own personal doctor, but if that is a question we want to ask the Lady Rhodes, we can.
Something that isn't sitting right with me is that whoever came after us and came after, by extension, Kira and Lord Rhodes, they identified us as a threat before we knew we were one.
Yes,
you're right.
It would appear that way.
I hadn't even thought of that. How did they know?
That's the question.
Indeed.
I would be worried about the people who the Rhodeses surround themselves with. But that's just a natural suspicion, I guess.
Concern is valid.
The other thought. Sorry, go ahead, Sigrid.
Oh no, we can ask. Go ahead, Rowan.
Thank you. Regarding their identifying us as a threat, I suppose the more obvious rationale behind that is that Lady Kira had been with us the previous night, so we were perhaps seen as people close to her who could be targeted.
Lateral damage.
Indeed. Yeah. For a moment, I thought maybe it had something to do with our freehold. The fact that we have one makes us somewhat of a target in the Fae community. But I think that is much more likely. Just the association with Lady Kira.
If Kira is the target, then does she fit into our Arthurian past?
I think that there is room to believe that there is a connection between her and at least a prophecy. While I do not remember the words fully, she was next to me. It was in the middle of a reading. I remember her face. She looked more concerned than confused, like everyone else.
Her face has been seen as well both in my memory of the past, as well as, didn't the face of the Lady of the Lake resemble Lady Kira?
Very similar, yes.
Yes,
she was in mine too.
She was also in one of Georgie's visions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I would say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, there is a connection, but exactly what that connection is seems to be a little ambiguous. The visions that we saw of her are not consistent.
It is a curiosity, isn't it?
Do we want to talk about this more here or on the road?
Let's go. We can go.
I do have one more thing that Lady Rhodes is preparing for me to do.
Can you fit all of us in your car?
I think I can, yes. It seats.
Okay, I'm going to wait outside.
Very well. Would you like to wait in the car?
No.
Very well.
He says, already fishing cigarettes out of his pocket.
Yes, Rowan would absolutely not allow smoking in his car.
Surprise, surprise. Okay. It is around this time that Lady Rhodes comes downstairs, and she is holding a what looks like an antique, and to your eye, Rowan, a very finely made pocket watch.
Yes, this will do wonderfully, Lady Rhodes. Rhodes, thank you ever so much. And he accepts it carefully and says, I shouldn't be long. And he heads upstairs.
As Rowan walks off, she just sort of stands there awkwardly for a moment and looks around at those of you who are still in the room and goes, "It was a gift to his father, or a gift from his father. He was planning to give it to her when she graduated."
It is very beautiful.
Excuse me. George is actually going to follow Crook outside.
Okay. Rowan,
Yes.
what are we doing?
Okay. So, essentially, what I'm going to do is arrange the bed and perhaps the any extra sheets and covers as if I were performing a graduation ceremony, and basically make it look almost like he's wearing graduation robes, and I'm going to tell my imagining in my fantasy author's way of the scene of him graduating and receiving this pocket watch and the pride that his mother would have felt in him achieving this incredible feat. And that is going to be my bunk for Dreamwalk, which I am also going to throw Dreamcraft on top of. Essentially, what this is going to do is allow me to enter Lord Rhodes's dreams if I'm successful, and I will also be able to shape his dreams in such a way that they are either favorable or not favorable, my choice, and essentially give him some bonuses. Like I'm going to be going with the favorable version, of course, because I'm a nice guy. And he's going to gain a point of willpower and also 2 bonus dice during any scene where he encounters the trigger for how I'm shaping the dream when he wakes up, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Perfect. Okay.
I will say with the bunk that you did, that'll lower your difficulty by 2 to a 6.
Sure, it sounds good to me. And let's see here. It costs me a glamour to cast this cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I think I will spend a willpower in the casting as well.
Okay, do it to it.
All right, that's 4 successes.
That is quite a few successes. Does the number of successes impact how it works? Does it have like it lasts for X nights or whatever? It'll say in the description.
Yes, the duration is 1 day per success rolled during the casting.
Perfect.
That's for Dreamcraft. Dreamwalk doesn't have any, alterations to it, as far as I know. But I would like to spend an extra willpower to enable me to enter Lord Rhodes's dreams from anywhere after the first time I do it.
You can't spend more than 1 willpower in a turn.
Fair enough. Okay.
That being said, you are able to do the casting the one time to do your dream walk, to enter in and shape his dreams into this kind of mock memory of his graduation and how his parents felt and everything, and to set it up so that he has, if not this exact dream, very similar dreams for the next 4 nights.
Perfect. I'm just wondering, though, how that's going to trigger in his waking hours.
I mean, you're unlikely to be here, and we're less than an hour before the end of the stream, so I'm not entirely sure I want to get into crazy detail.
Fair enough.
We'll just say that as well as you rolled, it works, and it'll do what needs to happen. Maybe the trigger is that you make it very clear to Lady Rhodes that he needs to, like, the pocket watch has to be out in the open, so when he sees it,
he's reminded of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works.
Anything else?
No, I head downstairs, thank Lady Rhodes for her assistance, and I head out to the car.
All right. Before that happens, I believe Georgie followed Crook outside.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a conversation that's going to happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Brooke lights a cigarette.
You've been in court politics before, yeah?
Sort of.
More so than the rest of them, yes?
Yeah.
Who stands the best? No, does someone have a shadow vibe to them, you know?
GM, do you want me to roll on this?
I feel like Crook has been at this long enough that he would know. Do you need me to tell you?
Out of character, I'm thinking about House Skathic and the Shadow Court.
I don't know that he would know about the Shadow Court. Not okay. Like the Shadow Court has that name for a reason, and that it's mostly rumors to anyone who hasn't had to directly interact with them.
Okay.
But House Skathic, he would absolutely know about.
There's a house that has a pretty big shadowy vibe. House Skathic.
Deviates from the name I know. What's their deal?
I mean, they're hunters mostly. They tend to think of themselves as big badasses, which means that my house has gotten into a fight with them more than once.
The kind of people who might take on a noble lord alone in a park?
Not really. They're Sealy. That's ambushing someone with a whole bunch of numbers. That's not good for your honor.
No, that makes sense. I'm trying to figure out who has the most to gain by doing any of this. And if it's a house, what would you do?
I'm not a schemer.
But you're unseelie.
He stares at his boots for a moment. I was.
I'll file that away for later. You were then. What does a nightmare do when they want power?
I mean, what the nightmare does... Look, people who cook up shit like this, that's like alien level bullshit. If I want power, I go and take it. If I want something, I go and take it.
Like you kill the previous king and then you take his sword.
Yeah. I put his crown on my head while his blood's still on my face and go, what are you motherfuckers gonna do about it? This is killing the High King and taking the sword is creating chaos that someone is eventually going to exploit. But in the meantime, and probably to deal with to undermine the fucking heir. Why they're coming after Rhodes, I don't know. Except that maybe Kira's tied to us somehow. Or at least to the prophecy thing.
That feels possible.
I don't know that they knew that we were a threat, though. I think we were just in the way.
Perhaps. Why would they know to get Kira, then? Also, why would you eliminate all of the other Arthurian research that we could do?
See, they didn't do... I don't know that they did that. I think they did something that stole Arthur out of the world, and the dreaming did the rest.
Which means that they knew to steal Arthur. Does that make sense?
They got a High King with a magic sword. Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. I also don't really want... This is not a mentality that I have, you understand?
I don't know why the fuck you're asking me. I'm a shit kicker.
I don't know. You tend to see. You've been embroiled in the politics of this longer than I have. You have a better perspective.
Godric talks and I don't shut him up.
Georgie will just shrug.
You want a cigarette?
Nope.
Okay.
Back inside, Sigrun, you have a chance to tell Lady Rhodes what you saw. She's clearly upset, but doing an admirable job of not making it overly obvious. You just have high enough ranks and empathy. I'm not going to make you roll. Especially to give your poor dice a break. You...
Oh, I do have a question.
Yes.
They did say, like Lady Rhodes said that they were not able to find his weapon, but Sigrun saw he was with his weapon did she see it up until the vision ended, or did they take it during the vision?
It was all kind of a blur. You remember seeing him having the weapon in his hand at the beginning of the vision. You don't remember seeing it by the end. Maybe it got thrown to the side, or it was taken, maybe.
Okay.
But he didn't have it by the time he collapsed.
Okay. Something happened in the middle of the fight. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if all of this is very horrendous, and I am deeply sorry for what happened to Lord Rhodes. I am troubled that we were separate from him, but at the very least, he stood as one against many and was able to take down some of their ranks. For that, you should be very proud of him. But unfortunately, I didn't see what happened with the weapon. It got blurry towards the end, and I think something happened in the middle of that fight that it left his hands.
I appreciate you telling me. I'll have our people go back to the original place and see if maybe we just missed it the first time.
Feel free to keep us posted, Lady Rhodes. And if there's anything else I can do, or we can do for the matter, please do not hesitate to ask.
Thank you.
And good luck to Kira in her doctor's visit. This is your personal doctor's, correct?
A number of people are coming by at some point. Everybody, as you can imagine, is busy with the fallout at court. So,
Of course. Just be careful.
she will not. I am very.
She'll give a bow. She's not going to offer a hug. Sigrun's not that much of a hugger. She can hug, but she knows when to not do it.
Yeah, you get the feeling that she's typically not either. When she hugged Elodie earlier, it was like a genuine, like, emotional reaction to the fact that somebody had actually managed to make progress where others had failed. You know, hugging Georgie may have been more for Georgie than for herself. Yeah. She was just like, it would be awkward if I said no. But yes, you are good.
If it so pleases you, I know Kira took comfort in the divination work I did. If you ever so choose, free of charge, a reading.
Thank you for the offer. I'll keep that in mind. I think with all of the prophecies and things going on right now, though, I
Absolutely understandable.
And she'll give her bows. And whoever else is still, I think she'll wait for Rowan, and she'll go back and wait for Rowan and then head out.
Okay. Rowan, was there anything else you needed to do, or are you ready to go?
Not at all. I head right out.
Okay. You are all outside and able to walk back to the cars.
Anyone
Well, that
who
was
would
a
like
lot.
to ride? And yes, I motion towards my car.
Once we're in the car and moving, Crook still kind of staring out the window. I have an idea.
Oh,
we've all been really, really careful about, how much we share and how much we talk to people.
Yes.
Fuck it, I watched Game of Thrones. What if we shared strategically?
Like what?
Oh, like if I were to pick anybody that I know to get up to really like Machiavellian shit, it would be the house I work for. So what if I just tell Godric, hey, I've been having visions that I'm Sir Kay. What do you think about that? And we let it sit. If shadows come and attack me, he's kind of told us who it is. If each of us pick someone and say, hey, I've been having this thing. I don't think anybody else in the motley has been having it, but I've been having this thing. What do you think? Whoever they come after, that tells us, at least on some level, who's got a thread.
Except that, well, I suppose we were never forbidden from speaking about our visions specifically. That said, as you saw this morning, I'm not the greatest where it comes to the art of subterfuge.
If you can't lie with your face, write it down.
But then anybody could potentially pick it up and read it.
Rowan, I believe we can collaborate on that then. You probably know more people who could have a certain have potential connections, but I also know how to lie, or at least reword things.
Oh, yes, that's wonderful. Let's do that.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a thought.
If we only share certain details with certain people and those certain details start getting around, we know who's spreading shit.
Yep.
But what if they don't spread anything?
Then they're trustworthy to us.
Sometimes you gotta put some bait out to get the snitch.
When we go to Parliament, I think one of the first people we need to seek out is Victus.
I'm deciding if I roll for something.
What do you want to roll for?
I'm trying to figure out when Georgie might have accidentally told someone something.
Did you tell Carter?
I am trying to figure out when that decision was made.
I hate him.
The first day, like literally when all of the prophecy stuff happened?
Okay, so...
Like you told Carter like literally less than 20 minutes before Sigrun told Elodie to go around telling everybody all this.
Well, there you go. We hadn't been told we weren't supposed to say anything yet.
I hate him.
Georgie is incredibly focused on her cuticles right now.
I think there's potential in that.
Unaware of Georgie's sudden plight and interest in her nail care, Elodie goes on. Victus is the person that was closest when everything went down, even if I trust them. I trust them with my whole heart and my whole soul and my whole life. But they will probably have the most information, and they probably have the most context for what we know so far.
As a reminder, it was not Vigdis who was closest. It was Vigdis's twin who found it.
Closest to us.
Oh,
I don't know Vigdis's twin.
No, I'm just saying she mentioned, so.
Yeah.
And I misunderstood what you were going for. My bad.
No, I wasn't clear enough. Apologies.
That's definitely a good thought, but I wonder if we should avoid going directly for Victus. That might point out the connection to anybody who happens to be watching that conversation unfold. Perhaps if we speak to others, drop our strategic information, and then seek out Victus and make it look like it's a matter of course that Victus is just another person that we are speaking to rather than the person we are going to see. I don't know, what do we think?
I guess I kind of forgot that people have their eyes on us now. I'm kind of used to flying under the radar a little bit.
True. Well, I mean, it's entirely possible that eyes were on you previously and you just weren't aware. The most shrewd and savvy person at court always has their finger on the pulse of everything.
Well, who's that person at court?
Who is that person at court, BP?
Who's certified hashtag that bitch?
There are a great number of people who are potentially that bitch. It's kind of depends on how you want to approach it, and how much you know about what people. One would assume that the best of the best at things like that are actually people you're not going to be aware of, or aware are that good.
I think my question would be, who is the most reliable, not to have correct gossip, but to have the highest volume of gossip? Who can't keep their damn mouth shut? Because then we can reverse engineer from there.
And also knows things to gossip about in the first place.
Who saw Goody Proctor with the devil?
All right, y'all gotta stop continuing to talk. I'm trying to look through my list of NPCs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be silly.
We're entertaining our fans.
We're vamping.
So there's a couple of ways to approach this from a politics perspective. The ones you probably want to think about the most, and who kind of jump to mind are, sorry, I'm going through my list of houses because there's a specific one and I can picture a bunch of stuff about them in my head, but I'm struggling with the name. In terms of knowing a bunch of secrets, the ones who have the biggest reputation for knowing secrets are House Aelinid. They are Sigrun's probably the most familiar with them. They are very into prophecy, secrecy, that sort of thing. In terms of the ones you are most likely to be able to get information out of, if you are tricksy about how you approach it, you could probably get stuff from House Fiona members. They're very, very passionate, which means that if you can get them on the right topic and they're not thinking about it, or they're very, very drunk, they might give some information up. However, the trixiest of the tricksy, more so than House Aelinid. House Aelinid is all about, sorcery and whatnot, but from a purely politics perspective, the ones who are like the masterminds and the strategists and are rumored to know more than anyone has any right to know is House Varric. If anybody would like to make I double check the sheet because this sheet has different things for skills than the other 20th edition games do. If anyone would like to make let's do intelligence and politics roll, I could tell you how much about House Varric you know.
I'm going to throw a point of will. As will I. I'm going to throw a point of willpower at this.
Okay, this is difficulty 6.
1 success for me. And what was the name of the house that Sigrun may have been a bit more familiar with?
Aelinid. Eiluned.
Thank you.
All right, so what did we get for our rolls?
Nothing.
Looks
3.
like Georgie and I got 3.
And I got
Good
1.
Good lord, Rowan. Where'd all these ones come from?
I mean, I got 6 successes on a previous roll. I think that ate all my luck up.
That's your allotment.
Yeah,
These ones came from 3 episodes ago.
and yeah, and 4 successes on the oniromancy as well. So
Okay. So Sigrun, most of what you know about House Varric is that they are not to be trifled with. House Aelinid is not overtly political themselves. They just are very secretive, and tend to be big secret keepers. House Varric is much more political. For the 2 who got 3 successes, and this might be something that's stands out more to Georgie than to Crook based on the type of person she is. The rumor is that House of Varric members are unable to love.
Oh, that's sad.
And that perspective allows them to see the pattern and the bigger picture and to manipulate it with kind of cold calculation.
I guess I'll relay that to the group. It doesn't change the fact that we don't know anyone from House Varric.
Good thing I'm great at meeting people.
They're an unseelie house. I might be able to get us an introduction.
See, we got the mouth and the face. Where can we go wrong?
Sorry, Georgie looks at both of you two like, which one's which?
I'm not gonna tell.
Brooke, did you bring your burner phone?
Yes, I did.
Your pocket rings.
Hello.
Hello. Good to hear from you. Glad to know you're not dead.
Yeah, I'm on my way to Parliament right now.
Why?
Figured I'd recreate Guy Fawkes Day.
Very funny. Is there something I can help you with, or is this just a check-in to let me know that you are not dead despite disappearing for a week and a half?
Check in to let you know I'm not dead. I was away. I will give you details when we're not on a phone. And I need to talk to you and your mother.
Mother is understandably busy. Everything going on. But I can make an appearance.
You want to meet me at Parliament? I'm headed there now. Otherwise, I'll swing by where you want later.
I will meet you at Parliament, but it might be an hour or 2 before I get there.
Okay. Follow the screaming.
Very funny. And he hangs up.
Yeah, I'm fucking hilarious.
Why do I feel like you're actually serious about the screaming, though?
Hope springs eternal.
Someone determined to have the world see them as a monster won't do anything but act monstrous.
Okay.
Even though they're not.
I tell you what, since you're so determined, I'm going to go with you wherever you go. I'm not going to say shit, and then we're going to see what happens. It'll be exciting.
Brooke, I'll talk to you about this later. I just can't right now. And looks out the window.
Okay. Unless anyone else has anything they want to talk about on the way there, you arrive at Parliament. Well, you arrive at the closest parking structure and then walk your way over to Parliament because you can't drive up.
Yeah, for sure.
There is a racing wind along the Potomac as you cross the footbridge onto Theodore Roosevelt Island. Parliament is a tall and magnificent but somewhat imposing building. It looks like, honestly, something out of almost out of like a fairy tale. It's this tall, like half like Roman columns, half like Disney fairy tale castle type of look, like someone just summoned it up out of magic. You can't even see like where one stone ends and another begins because maybe there aren't individual stones. It's just one big structure. It shines in the sunlight. It is white with swirls of like silver through it, like if you're looking at marble, but instead of it being white with black and gray, it's white with silver.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have I had many reasons / opportunities to go to Parliament on a regular basis, or is this new?
That's really kind of up to you. I assumed it was like you've maybe seen it at a distance, but Elodie didn't strike me as the type to want to hang out at Parliament.
No, yeah, that's what I was assuming.
Like, it's one of those things that she absolutely could have. There's no rules that say you can't unless, like, you know, something special is going on and they lock it down for security.
This is my debutante ball. Time to introduce me to society.
I feel like Rowan would have brought you to Parliament at least once before just to get your feet wet with it and get a sense of what it's like.
Field trip. I want a corn dog. But yes, I wanted to assert if I knew my way around, which I assumed the answer would be pretty resounding no.
Yeah, if you've been here, it's maybe once, and you had an escort, so you weren't paying that close of attention to like where everything is, and this place is pretty big.
To paint a picture, I was 100% in like a bright orange, like rain jacket, like you wear when you're doing a tourist thing.
Oh God!
I got little welly boots because it was raining. I want you to envision that in the halls of Changeling Parliament.
Oh, I am. Weirder things have been worn there, but yeah, that's now an image in my head that'll never go away. Parliament is quiet. It's not that there's nobody here. You pass people, but people are being, it's somber. There isn't like the buzz of activity that you were accustomed to seeing here, Rowan and Crook. I don't know how often Sigrun comes, but the couple of times, the few times you guys have been here, this place is usually bustling with activity. There's usually debates going on and people rushing to and from offices, and you know, it is like a hive of activity. And right now, while there is activity, it is all very quiet, very somber, very it is like someone has cast a hush over everything.
Fighting every urge in my body to not just say into the quiet, wow, who died? I'm quite successful when I'm thinking it.
So what are you guys doing?
Look at Crook. You've got the contacts. Well, not the contacts, but the context.
Godric's not going to be here for another hour. Let me see if I can find someone from the house.
You're our highest ranking member, Sir Crook. We're just your entourage.
I have a dumb question.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of stuff happens at Parliament?
What do you mean, what sort of stuff happens at Parliament?
Is it mostly ceremonial, or are there meetings here all the time for like various subcommittees? Sorry.
It's a Parliament. Like there
okay.
Ceremonial stuff happens, but this is also a seat of government. This is one of those places. The history that you know is that when High King David took the throne, he established, you assume with the dreaming kind of pitching in to some degree, established the Parliament of Dreams to make sure that the people had a voice, and that there was no like absolute monarchy or anything like that. There are debates and arguments about policies. People figure out how they're going to present their cases to the High King, that sort of thing.
Okay, weird question then. Are there archives here, or is there a cafe?
No cafe.
And/or?
No cafe. You would assume there are probably archives. You don't know where because you've never been here. Well, you've maybe been here to like present yourself when you first arrived in the city, but that's it.
Okay.
One would assume, however, that there are archives somewhere.
Well, I got nothing.
You could just ask somebody if there are archives, and where are they?
I guess I'll do that. Like as we're wandering through.
Well, I got nothing.
It's more of a like, I don't have a great sense of what the space is like, etc. So I'm like, if this is just
it's a big building. It's not easy to navigate if you've never been here before, or haven't seen much of it.
like, is there a security guard? I should ask. It's that sort of thing. It's like, all right, let's ask.
There are guards around, yes.
It's a deep breath. Smell that? That's bureaucracy.
Oh, so DC. But with a little bit more sparkle.
There are a lot of you that I expect the word sparkle out of, but Sigrun wasn't it.
I will save the glitter bomb in my pocket for later. When that's a mystery musket tool that we'll use later.
I'm excited.
Chekhov's glitter bomb.
It's Changeling Parliament. It won't be the first one.
Yeah, I mean, every good changeling needs a bit of glamour.
Let's find out where these archives are.
Unless anyone else has anything else, any other direction they want to go, I'm gonna find archives.
There are guards around that you could ask, or you could just wander. What are you doing?
Heading straight to a guard.
All right.
I'm gonna go with her because I got a friendly face.
So the pretty one and the friendly one. Okay. You all, the two of you make your way over to a man who is clearly a clericon, dressed in the same armor that you have seen Sigrun in a few times, or not Sigrun, Victus in a few times. And he looks over at the two of you. Can I help you?
Oh, we were just working on a little research project. Is there do you know where the archives are?
Yes. Down that hall. Take the third right, and then take a left. It's at the end of that hall.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
He up nods at Elodie.
I return the gesture. And then as we're walking away, if Georgie gives me a look, I'm like, you wouldn't understand. It's a clericon thing.
I didn't ask.
Is Crook going to find another member of his house?
Yeah, he was gonna try and see if he could find anyone else from House Leannon here.
Okay, I apologize. You said you would, like, in character, but didn't say anything out of character, so I wasn't sure what if you were gonna go do it or not. If you go in to look at one of the main hall where all of the big debates happen, that's where you're most likely to find the largest number of people. Make me a perception. Let's go perception and alertness roll. It's not quite what I would normally go for, but there's no roll to identify specific people. So
4 successes.
Excellent. You walk in and you take a moment to kind of scan the room, and you recognize a older man with kind of salt and pepper hair, who has the kind of high cheekbones and fine features that are a little bit a little bit more on the rugged side than an Arcadian she would. And you recognize him as someone you've really only met him like once in passing at like a party you were required to go to because Godric told you were required to go to. His name is Leo.
Leo have a title?
Sir.
Sir Leo. I will approach Sir Leo.
He is kind of sitting at one of the little table desk things that they have in spaces like this, and is writing and seems very focused. So it takes a minute of you standing there for him to like realize that there's somebody standing over him.
Yep.
And then he looks up. I'm sorry.
This the most comfortable place. This the most comfortable place you could find to write?
No, but I don't normally do my business from here, so I don't have an office.
Mm.
Crook, right?
Yes, Sir Leo, right?
Yes. Good to see you again.
We were out for just a little bit.
I heard. Have you spoken to Godric?
He's on his way.
Okay.
He's on his way. We're going to catch up.
What can I do for you?
You could help me do a little catching up. I was gone for like a week and a half.
Well, a lot and very little has happened. There hasn't been a big flurry of activity. It's mostly been investigations into what happened, people making calls for the heir to take her position, but also no one knowing where the sword is, and it's a mess.
So yeah, much activity to no result.
I wouldn't say no result, just not anything overly actionable at the moment. I have been ordered to stay here in case I need to speak in the family's interests. From what you can remember about Leo, he is a lawyer. And often acts as one both in mortal and changeling society.
If I can ask, what are the family's interests right at the moment?
Making sure that the wrong people don't try to muscle their way onto the throne. See if there's trying to think of how to word this. See if there's anything I can do to maneuver us into better standing towards the throne.
So you went to law school.
I did.
What'd you study undergrad?
Why do you want to know?
And Crook will sit down next to him. You read a lot of Arthur, like stuff about King Arthur.
Some?
Have you tried to read any in the last week?
No.
Should look it up. Think you'll find something interesting. We'll step back by later. I don't want to. You're working on something, but we should talk more.
All right. We certainly can. Like I said, I'm here until I'm told I'm allowed to leave. Or did they send someone else?
Let me know if you need anyone kicked.
He smiles. I'll do that. And looking at the clock, I think that's all we have time for tonight. Thank you for listening to District of Dreams, a Changeling the Dreaming actual play by Hallowed Haven Studios. Storytelling for this actual play was provided by Bloodied Porcelain. Sir Crook is played by Bookkeeper. Elodie Blight is played by Hannah Marie. Sigrun Spellman is played by Madame Ava. Rowan Parsons is played by Rob Davies. Georgina Byrne is played by Clara Allison. Our intro music is by Michael Shines. Our art is by Instagram.com/V is for Vampire. And our editing is by Virons.